Hi everyone, welcome back to part 2 of my Q&A. First off, I want to thank you guys for watching my last video, and I'm sorry that I ended up so abruptly. I didn't even get to give you guys a goodbye, but my camera ended up shutting off and I just scrambled up everything. My son woke up from his nap and I couldn't finish it up. But anyways, I'm back here today to answer 5 more questions because I did say that I was going to be asking 10. So let's get started. So I'm going to start where I left off in the last video, which is what advice can I give someone who is trying to start scrapbooking? Previously, when I was originally filming this, I felt like it was a hard question for me to answer just because it took me a really long time to figure out how I felt with scrapbooking. I knew originally that I really enjoyed it, that it was something that I really wanted to try out, but I was really scared. I was really self-conscious of the stuff that I kind of just didn't know how to create, really. And so, you know, when someone asks me that question, it does remind me of how I started off, but, you know, I've come a long way from that, and so I feel like now I can actually, you know, give you the proper response. So this is my response to you. If you're wondering, how can I get started with scrapbooking? You know, I've never done it before. I don't even know what to buy. Like, it seems like I need a lot of stuff. And this is what it is. First of all, my first tip would be that you take awesome photos. The inspiration that most scrappers get from or when they're about to create is from the photos that they have. They take great shots. You know, they practice their skills on their phone. If you have a professional camera, kudos to you. I don't. So I take most of my photos on phone, probably 99.9% of them. You have to learn how to create, you know, nice bright photos. So that's the first tip. Have those photos that are going to inspire you to go and create a layout. The second tip is, okay, what supplies do I need? The basics are, you need adhesive. You could use glue like this, or you could use tape runners like this. If you like a little dimension, if you feel like you might want to add a little dimension to your layout, you can buy some of these puffy, you can see they're a little thick. These are the puffy dots. So those are the basics. And you can also use glue. A warning about this glue is that it does warp your paper. This one is not so much, but that's the only warning I can give to any new scrappers who don't know this, is that glue usually warps your paper. So if you like something really flat and something really neat, glue wouldn't be the right way to go. I'd use the tape runner. And you can find all of that at Michael's. You can find it at Daiso if you have Daiso stores near you. That's somewhere where I would recommend. You also need cardstock, and this could be anything from pattern paper to color cardstock or to plain white cardstock. That's basically what's going to help you do your layering, or just as your base for your photo. So, you know, obviously paper is the most important thing. Like I've mentioned before, use the white cardstock and build on it. I'm sorry about the car outside. We have neighbors moving in. So yes, like I said, I use the white cardstock. So when I purchase my cardstock, I don't really rummage through the patterns. I go straight to the white. And then usually what I do is buy paper pads. So if you have, so this goes on to my third point actually, is how do I pick the pretty stuff? How do I pick the cute stuff that I'm going to want to use? So what I recommend is that you can join a kit club. Every month they will provide you with everything that you need. This can differ month to month to your liking. Sometimes the colors that one certain kit club comes out with in 1 month you might like, and the next month you might not. So, you know, if you want an annual subscription, something that keeps going, that might not work for you. But, you know, you have the freedom to choose whatever you want. You can decide, well, you know what, this month I know I'm going to purchase the kit. Maybe I can wait to see what's coming out for May and see what I like best. But that's basically, you know, the way that you're going to find the pretty stuff. And also another way is to know your brands and find those that are favorite to you. There's all kinds. There is Dear Lizzie, there's Crepe Paper, Maggie Holmes, Paige Taylor Heavens. That was a joker. What else? There's Chamel, there's Amy Tan, there's tons. So find, you know, the brands that you feel speak more to you. Usually the designer brands, the ones with the names, they all have that personal style to the designer. So you'll continue receiving that same kind of stuff because they do keep true to their style. So yes, that is what I say how you can get started. And like I said, once you figure out what it is you like, you can find everything on scrapbook.com. And no, I am not getting paid to say that. Okay, so I think that was a good way to start to answer that question. Any final thoughts would be, you know, basically just go online for ideas. Like if you feel like you want to go create something at that moment and you don't exactly know what, just go to Pinterest and search a couple of layouts, and I'm pretty sure that you guys can find a little inspiration just to get you started. Alright, so question number 7. It's question 2, but question 7. How do you film your videos? So I have, so I think this question is way more involved than just how do you film your videos. The camera that I use is this super, super old, and I'm staring right at it because I love it. It's a true champ. It's a Nikon Coolpix. I don't think there's a number to it. 14X. Yes, it's a very old point and shoot camera that I got back when I was probably 20 years old. Yes, I'm 26. I'm hoping that this year for Christmas, maybe sometime during the summer, maybe I can get a new camera. It's definitely the next big thing on my list. But that's the camera I use. I don't have any kind of special fancy thing. It's just a point and shoot camera that I've had for years. And then also, how do you film videos for scrapbooking? As you know, everything is overhead, so it gets a little tricky. I actually had to figure out a way for me to do this. I really feel like it differs for everyone because any tripod that will tilt your camera over and have that overhead for you is really expensive. Really expensive. So, you know, most of us just kind of figure out how to hang our camera and put it up so that it's filming down to a white, you know, base. So what I did was use the tripod that I'm using now. It's full length up right now, but I just bring up the legs a little bit and connect my camera to the top, and then to the top of the tripod I put a string that I connect to my windowsill and then it's hanging to a certain angle that it's hanging perfectly over my desk, and I'm able to film my videos for you guys. So I know that probably sounded completely ridiculous because it is, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. And I really wanted to start filming videos last year. I just thought it'd be a really fun hobby. So that's how I ended up figuring that out. It took me a little while. It was very tricky, but I'm glad that, you know, it's working out for me. So that's how I film my videos. Question number 8. How do you edit your videos? So I don't really do anything special. I've kind of found my way. I have a MacBook, So I do use iMovie, and I very highly recommend it. It's a great program. It's very simple, it's basic, and it gets stuff done. And I think my videos are pretty basic. There's nothing fancy about them. You know, I recently purchased some lights, which I think you guys can kind of catch in the frame. Just to make sure, I'm going to pull this forward. So this is my Alt light, and if you follow me on Instagram and you watch my stories, you probably saw it. I purchased 2 lights. They were 40% off at Joann's, and these are actually very, very vibrant, and that's how I manage to keep my videos nice and bright when I film at night. But yeah, you know, lighting is important, of course, so I did place my desk here in front of my window so that I'm completely, you know, absorbing that natural light. And sometimes when I film at the right time, my videos are super crisp. Sometimes they're not, but that's why I decided to invest on these Alt lights, and I'm still sort of trying to figure them out, how they will best, you know, brighten up my surface. But yes, that's how I film my videos. I feel like it's a little bit way too technical for the whole scrapbooking thing, where to me it's just letting go and being creative, and then you gotta hit the technicalities of filming videos. But that's just part of the hobby. It's no big deal. So question number 9, how do you edit your photos? So like I said earlier, my photos I take 99% of the time on my phone, which is an iPhone 6s Plus. I've always had iPhones, so I've always used iPhones. And what I do is I have gone through a lot of apps and figured out a lot of ways to edit photos. But now I'm realizing that I don't really like using filters. I like keeping my photos crisp and fresh. So now I'm figuring out that I really like keeping my photos as they are, hashtag no filter, but I still go in and edit my photos so that they are brighter, crisper, and just better to the eye. So what I do is I use the Instagram app every once in a while. When you go to edit photos, you can click the brightness up and down. Usually I like to make it as not completely bright as possible so that it doesn't make the picture look weird, but I always like to increase the brightness. After I do the brightness, I do the contrast. After I do the contrast, I will do the highlights, and then shift that around a little bit to see if it's not completely going to ruin the colors in my photo. And then after that, I do the shadows. And I don't bring the shadows up, I bring the shadows down to add a little bit extra contrast to the photo. And that's normally how I get my nice bright photos. I like that way of doing it because there's just so many photos, and you know, I feel like sometimes none of them get enough credit. I just feel like I'm overwhelmed with so many photos. So the more real I keep them, I like them better because, you know, that memory is there fresh and it's still there. It's not edited with extra filters. And, you know, if you guys like to use filters, that's perfectly fine. But that's just my preference for my photos. I also, almost 95% of the time, I will edit my photos on my iPhone, on the same photo app. If you have an iPhone, there's a section that says edit photo. I believe it says edit. And then again, I increase the brightness. I increase the contrast. I increase, hello. Hi. No, hi. Then I will go in and increase the brilliance. And then I will increase, you want to sit here and say hi with your wet shirt? And say hi to the camera. Say hi, camera. I just woke up from my nap, huh?
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. How are you? Say hi to the camera right there. Say hi.
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 What?
So like I was saying, after I increase the brightness and the contrast, I will increase the brilliance and then the black point. And then after, you know, deciding whether that's good enough for my photo, I will go in and increase the highlights. So I know that probably doesn't make any sense, but if you have an iPhone, give it a try and check out how it works for you guys. If you guys would like a full-on tutorial on how I edit my photos on my iPhone, I would be more than glad to film it for you guys. I think it would be a great great lesson for you guys to just learn how to brighten up any photo on your iPhone. So now on to question number 10. I hope this video wasn't as long as the last one. Sorry about that. How did you get on a design team? Alright, so first of all, like I've said before, I started off at the very bottom with an idea in my head that I wanted to scrapbook. I wanted to share this on Instagram, and I wanted to make something out of it. Like, I really, like, thought I knew, you know, how much potential I have, and I hate for that to sound just selfish, but it's not. Like, this was something that I wanted to build something out of, and it's still something that's building for me. So, you know, that was my idea. My first goal is to get on a design team. So after I started my Instagram, it took me a little while to figure out what I was doing on Instagram. Then I finally, probably around Christmas time when I was doing my December daily, I thought, you know what? Like, I have to put out stuff. If I want people to respond, I have to put out. And that's basically what I started doing. And so during the summer, after December daily for 2015, spring and summer, I was, you know, sharing all my social medias. During the summer, I was able to get a few Gossamer Blue kits and some other kits. Hi. And, you know, I was sharing my stuff on social media. My following was growing, and eventually I ran into Andrea Gray on Instagram, and she had great YouTube videos. She had very great YouTube videos that I liked. Sorry. Yeah, Matthew. So she had great videos on YouTube, so I started watching her. I followed her on social media. Later on, I found out that she was on Gossamer Blue design team, and that's how I started figuring out the rest of the team members. And eventually, I ran into my friend Jill Keller, and I don't know exactly who added who first on Instagram or how exactly we heard about each other, but we started commenting on each other's stuff. And, you know, she kept commenting on mine, and I would notice she liked my stuff, and I knew that she was on the design team. So eventually, I think I just kind of got the guts, gathered up the guts to ask her and message her on Facebook and ask her, you know, if she knew if Gossamer Blue was going to have a design team call anytime soon. This was probably around September, October last year, so not very long ago. I think I'm right. And you know, it took a lot of guts because I didn't want her to think that I was a weirdo for asking her that question, or, you know, just simply being nosy. I didn't want to come off as anything like that. But I still asked her, and she was the greatest. She told me that they didn't do design team calls yet, and that I should just email Lori, who's the owner. And that's what I did, and I kept in contact with Jill, and it was just super exciting knowing that she helped me to get in contact with Lori, and, you know, just waiting for the answer to see if she liked me or not. And she did. I still can't believe that I was able to get on the Gossamer Blue design team. But I do know that, you know, I was trying my best last year to, you know, enjoy the process, but also be putting out stuff that I really thought was beautiful and that people would admire, because my ultimate goal for all of this is to inspire other people to go out and do it themselves. So, you know, the fact that thanks to my friend Jill to have, you know, helped me guide me in the right direction, in the very right direction, I was able to go sell myself to Lori. Like, you know, it's sort of like a job interview. You have to just tell them what you're all about, and, you know, the things that you can do and the things that you enjoy doing, and how that will, you know, go with the team. So I still, I don't think I'm really very answering this question truthfully, you know, to the top of the word, because I still can't quite believe that I was able to get on such a great design team. It's a little intimidating, but it's a dream come true at the same time. So I'm jittery with excitement, but at the same time I'm super scared, and you know, I'm out there with some of the best. So it's quite amazing. And, you know, the only tip I can give anyone is that if you have goals, if you think that you can achieve something, then you can. And, you know, it's like, you know, you only have one life, and, you know, make the best of it. Like, why should it matter if people think that we waste our time playing with paper, when we all know that this is like memories that we are turning into treasures, and someone one day will look back at these, you know, when we're gone, and think, wow, she really did love, you know, keeping her family's memories together in one place, and she really did love her family because of this. You know, that is my reason for it, and I feel like I'm just getting started. I'm so excited for what's to come in these years ahead. I hope that it's good things, and I hope that I keep doing what I'm doing, and then I hope that I never fall out of love with scrapbooking. Like, that day, that if that day ever comes, I am gonna be so sad. But anyways, Mom, here's our little guy. He just finished eating some chocolate because it was Easter yesterday. Right, honey? Yeah. Was the chocolate good? Yeah. Total messy boy. But anyways, thanks everyone for stopping by for video number 2.
Hey.
Yes. And if you have any questions, please let me know down below. Leave your comments, leave your questions. I would love to hear from all of you. And thanks so much for the tag, Jill. This was really fun. I hope that, you know, my viewers and my viewers on YouTube get to know a little bit more about me. And if you have any questions, like I said, we can keep this going. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye. Bye.